Before the legions, before the Senate, before the empire stretched across continents, there were kings, 7 of them, men draped in both history and legend, whose reigns spanned the blurry threshold between myth and memory. This is the story of how Rome rose, not in marble, but in blood, fire, ambition, and the slow-beating heart of a people destined for empire. This is the Roman kingdom, and these are its kings. Rome begins not with treaties, but with murder. Romulus, twin of Remus, abandoned at birth and raised by wolves, would become the first king of Rome, after killing his brother in a dispute over the city's founding. Romulus's reign was one of violence and cunning. To fill his fledgling city with citizens, he opened it to outcasts, criminals, and fugitives. Then, to secure women for them, he orchestrated the infamous rape of the Sabines, a mass abduction dressed as diplomacy. Yet this barbarism laid the groundwork for Rome's most enduring institutions. He formed the Senate, divided the people into tribes, and led Rome through its first wars. Legend claims he vanished into a storm, deified as the god Quirinus. Romulus set the tone. Rome would not ask for what it could take, and no empire, no matter how glorious, rises without blood. Where Romulus ruled with the sword, Numa Pompilius ruled with the sacred. A Sabine and outsider, Numa brought peace to a warlike people. He established the foundations of Roman religion, creating temples, rituals, and the priesthoods, including the Vestal Virgins and the cult of Janus. Numa taught Romans to fear the gods, not for tyranny, but for order. He banned images of deities, emphasizing reverence over representation. Under his guidance, Rome entered a rare era of peace, where divine law held the city together more tightly than any army could. While his existence is debated, his influence is not. Rome's moral backbone, its obsession with ritual omens and sacred law, all began here. Numa didn't build walls or win battles. He built belief. And in doing so, gave Rome a soul. If Numa was Rome's priest, Tullus Hostilius was its hammer. Third in the line of kings, Tullus reignited Rome's appetite for conquest. His most famous campaign was against Alba Longa, Rome's ancestral city. But instead of open war, the conflict was decided by ritual combat between triplets, the Horatii and the Curiatii. The result? A Roman victory, a collapsed rival, and the beginning of Roman supremacy in Latium. But Tullus didn't stop at tradition. He demolished Alba Longa completely, relocating its people to Rome. He showed no reverence for the sacred, mocked omens, and, as legend tells, was ultimately struck down by Jupiter himself for his arrogance. Tullus expanded Rome's reach and appetite, reminding it that glory did not come through mercy. It came through domination. Ancus Marcius walked a tightrope between his predecessors. The grandson of Numa, he inherited a peaceful vision. But he quickly learned that peace without power was an invitation to invasion. He waged war with calculated ferocity, conquering neighboring Latin towns, relocating their populations, and laying the groundwork for Roman expansionism through colonization. Yet he also built. He fortified the Janiculum Hill, established Ostia, Rome's first port, and most famously, constructed the Pons Sublicius, the city's first bridge across the Tiber. Ancus fused Numa's sacred traditions with Romulus's ambition. He showed Rome it could be more than a city of warlords. It could be a civilization. He didn't just conquer land, he connected it. Lucius Tarquinius Priscus was not Roman by birth. He was Etruscan, a foreigner who climbed into Rome through cunning, wealth, and the manipulation of politics. His rise marks a turning point. The Roman kingdom begins to adopt Etruscan grandeur, ceremonial power, symbolism, and urban transformation. Tarquinius doubled the Senate's size, launched Rome's first great building projects, and instituted games and spectacles that dazzled the masses. But his rule also sowed seeds of instability. After his assassination, engineered by the sons of Ancus Marcius, Tarquinius's legacy lived on not through blood, but through adoption. He had mentored a man of unknown birth, whose rise would reshape Rome. Servius Tullius, possibly born a slave, became king not by right, but by merit and manipulation. Legend says flames danced on his head as a child, a divine sign of greatness. Raised in the royal household, he rose through ranks, married into power and ruled after Tarquinius Priscus's assassination, first unofficially, then through sheer consolidation. Servius reorganized Roman society from the ground up. He instituted the census, creating a class-based military and political order that would dominate Roman structure for centuries. He divided the city into tribes and created new political institutions to give the commons more voice, or at least the illusion of it. But in the shadows, betrayal brewed. His daughter Tullia, consumed by ambition, conspired with her lover, Lucius Tarquinius Superbus, to seize the throne. Servius died in the streets, thrown down the Senate steps. His body was run over by his own daughter's chariot. The age of civility was over. Lucius Tarquinius Superbus ruled like a despot. He ignored the Senate, used executions to silence dissent, and surrounded himself with a personal guard. He completed the Temple of Jupiter Optimus Maximus and expanded Roman influence through terror, not diplomacy. His rule was absolute, until it wasn't. It was not his wars, nor his taxes that doomed him. It was an act of violence within his own household, the rape of Lucretia by his son, Sextus Tarquinius. Her suicide sparked outrage, and with it rebellion. Led by Lucius Junius Brutus, the Roman aristocracy expelled the king. The monarchy fell, and in its place, the republic was born. Rome had learned a lesson it would never forget. Kings, no matter how powerful, are mortal. But the idea of Rome, that could outlive them all. So who were the kings of Rome? Some were likely real, others were shadows. Mythic echoes created to justify institutions or inspire civic virtue. But each represented a phase in Rome's evolution. Romulus forged identity. Numa gave faith. Tullus showed power. Ancus balanced both. Tarquinius Priscus brought vision. Servius crafted order. Tarquinius Superbus inspired revolt. Their reigns span almost 250 years, though historians today question the timeline, the details, and even the existence of some figures. But regardless of what is history and what is myth, the idea of these kings, and the lessons they carry, endured. From this blend of brutality and brilliance emerged a republic built on hatred of kingship, and yet strangely, shaped by the very rulers it rejected. The Roman kingdom was a proving ground, a cauldron in which values were forged, ideas tested, and power abused. In the centuries that followed, Romans would look back on their kings as both villains and visionaries. He didn't just conquer land, he connected it. That's what we'll explore next. What do you think? Were these kings real historical figures or legends molded to serve Roman pride? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're enjoying this journey through the rise of Rome, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. The Republic awaits.